get closer into the juiciness of this right now, okay? It's Umbrella, and I'm letting y'all know what it is and what it ain't. So let's go. Battle between all of them actually put the Tombstone on pause, which is fucked up because he's dead, you know. So he should have a proper burial regardless of any legal drama that's going on. But because everybody was into this trial, I think that they weren't thinking about giving him a proper tombstone at the time. The tombstone is now being moved to Michigan to that museum that I discussed further before. And it's around the same time that they actually recorded Why Do Fools Fall in Love. So that's cool. It's like the anniversary of them recording the record. And in the article that I read, and I'll leave that below as well, they talk more about that, about the feeling, you know, that was going on around the time, and them recording the song and how it was great, and it was such a good time. So I'm going to discuss Gary Johnson, Nardella, and Ronnie Italiano. Okay, so I'm going to start with Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson is a blogger. He's a retired teacher of rock and roll. He actually curated his own class when he was a teacher specifically for rock and roll, and he made his own textbook. So shout out to you. He's also a blogger and a doo-wop enthusiast, and he came across a book that he got as a housewarming gift from his in-laws, where it was talking about more about Ronnie Italiano's store and the tombstone of Frankie Lymon. He thought it was interesting, and that it was talking more about the tombstone being set in the window. Because at the time there was it was up and down, up in the air, if the tombstone was actually going to be on the gravesite or not. So after they raised the money for the tombstone, it ended up just sitting in the window of his store for some years. So that's how Gary Johnson found out about the tombstone. So then he wanted to know more, so he, you know, started talking to Ronnie Italiano. And Ronnie Italiano, he is the one that has a store specifically geared to doo-wop. So he has a music store in New Jersey, specifically about doo-wop music. And he also is the founder of the UGHA, which is the United Group Harmony Association. So this group of people, they actually organize benefit concerts to join, you know, just to gear towards music in the doo-wop community and fans. So they do concerts and shows and things like that. So he actually hosted a show where they raised the money for the tombstone. So how Nardella comes into the picture, it was the DJ for some of the events. So that's how she got close to Ronnie and everything. So Ronnie Italiano, he ended up dying in 2008 at the age of 67, and his store ended up closing in 2012. So at the time, his store was still, the tombstone was still in his store. And Nardella, the DJ for the events, she didn't want the tombstone to be ruined, so she had a museum company actually install it in her backyard so that she could keep it and make sure, you know, it's a piece of history, and it's something that the fans did for Frankie. So she wanted to make sure nothing happened to it, so she actually had it sent to her New Jersey house. The store was in New Jersey, so it was just easier that way. So she wanted to preserve the tombstone for Ronnie because he had passed away, and I think that's really genuine. Ended up staying at our house from 2012 to 2019, and Gary had wrote a blog post about the tombstone and Ronnie and some of the performers that performed at the UGHA. benefits, they read the blog post and they got him in contact, Gary Johnson, in contact with Nardella. So that's how they started talking. And they both agreed that the tombstone should be sent to a Michigan museum of Rock and Roll Legends Hall of Fame. So they worked together to get it sent to Michigan, which I thought was genuine. That is how the tombstone ended up in Nardella's backyard to Michigan, a Michigan museum. So I'm gonna get closer into the juiciness of this right now. Okay, so we're going back to Irma Eagle, Frankie Lymon's widowed wife, the one that won all the money from the trial and everything. So okay, so this is what's up. I know y'all gonna have questions like, what? So what happened to the? So after that, that was it. Like, it just ended up in a museum, and I'm answering that question right now. Yes. So I'm gonna let y'all, like I said, I'm gonna let y'all be the judge, but I'm about to tell y'all how I feel about this. Okay. So Ronnie, I'm gonna just give y'all a little VIP real quick. So Ronnie ended up, before he died, of course, he talked to Irma Eagle about doing the benefit concert to raise the money for the tombstone, because he saw that it was unmarked. So he talked to her. They agreed on doing the tombstone as one, you know, originally. And this was after years, maybe 6 or 7 years of him not having a tombstone at all. So he called her, they talked about it, and she agreed that they both would use the tombstone from the fans. Okay, so as the trial starts to happen and the movie starts to come out and shit like that, I think that, so she ended up changing her mind. She's saying she changed her mind, and she's saying that around the time of the trial and everything, that it would have been better if she had did the tombstone. So that's why there is two. She did not stick to her promise, and she went and did a tombstone, and it was just by herself. So on the tombstone, it actually says, "In loving memory of my husband." And if you watch the part 2 of the video, you really see how I feel about that. I think it's extremely selfish, because he wasn't just a husband. He was a brother. He was a son. He was a grandson. You know what I'm saying? He was a musical artist, and fans adored him. So I personally just think that the tombstone done by the fans was more about him and less about her. So I think that the tombstone that's in Michigan right now, it should be on his actual gravesite. I think that that's more fitting than having something that says, "In loving memory of my husband." And to me, it just reveals some things about Irma Eagle. She did pass away last year, but I'm just speaking real facts right now. So in the movie, you could see, like, who plays her? I forgot what her name is. Damn, I forgot her name, but I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. In the movie, she is portrayed as a goody two-shoes, church-going female, but in actuality, she is kind of snaky, you know, in the movie, and you get those vibes. So I did watch a little bit of Frankie Lymon's life in the show The Wheel, and I think that's what really made me want to do a biopic series in the first place. I was walking past the TV and my mom was watching it, and I heard on the episode about Frankie Lymon, I heard some of the members in the group talking, and they said that they talked to Irma Eagle as well about her possibilities of winning the trial, and that if she did win, that she told them, they're saying, you know, it's he said, she said, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm comparing notes. Okay, so they said, the members of the group said that they had a phone call conversation with her, and she agreed to break them off some money for the royalties, because she believed that they did write the songs and things like that. And they both made an agreement that she would give them some money uh, if she won. And when she did win, she didn't give them nothing at all. And I'm thinking about the conversation with her and Ronnie, and her switching up and changing her mind at the last minute. It's like the same thing. And on the wheel, she was actually saying like she never talked to them before, she don't know them, and shit like that. So it just kind of make it seem like she's shisty, like she was being real shisty. And it kind of makes it seem like she wanted to control Frankie in a way, and she's even trying to do that after death with a tombstone. It's like it's fucking 20 years since he passed away, and you still doing this petty shit, like, for real? That bothers me, like, bothers me. I'm sorry my voice is cracking. That bothers me. I just don't think that that's righteous at all. I don't think that that's a good thing to do. And I just feel like it's kind of easy for her to do that, because she ain't really know him like that. She was only with him for a couple months. So I don't even know. I don't even know, y'all. Just okay, so just let me know how y'all feel in the comments below. That's the story, that's the tea. I hope y'all like this video. Make sure y'all like, comment below, and subscribe to this channel. It's Umbrella, and I'm out of here. Peace.